to Behind the Bands. I'm your host, Lisa Allegas. In this special edition, we will get to know a musical duo coming to us all the way from North Carolina. They are Jeremiah McKinley. We've seen their videos on our sister show, Beyond Billboard Hits. Tonight, we will meet and get to know the performers playing in our studio. Let's kick off the show with one of their crowd pleasers. This is Warz, Mexico.
I woke up in Warz, Mexico, not a dollar to my name. I was dripping sweat with a fever, when I'm pounding in my brain. I got a handful of codeine, and I ditched my bloody clothes. I'm gonna find that senorita, send me down to Mexico. Yesterday we started early, and every weekend is the same. Just east of old El Paso, past that bottle till it's drained. And when I saw this little cutie, raven hair blowing wild, the boy wanna make a dollar. Let me take you for a ride. And I woke up in Warz, Mexico, not a dollar to my name. And I was dripping sweat with a fever, and a pounding in my brain. I checked my pockets for her number, I ain't got a phone to call. You know, guess I must have lost it. Hell, I must have lost it all, yeah. Just past the border crossing, we pulled off to check our home. They gave me a little taste to tease me, and a wink and we were off. When the rest seemed kinda hazy, I don't remember much at all. Just a old cold revolver and blood on the wall. And I woke up in Warz, Mexico, not a dollar to my name. I was dripping sweat with a fever, when I'm pounding in my brain. Another sirens all around me, federales in the hall, with the bars on the window. Looks like I'm gonna take a ball and I'm falling. I woke up in Warz, Mexico, in a cell made of stone. There's a bucket in the corner and a pillow on the floor, with no clue of what has happened, and I doubt I'll ever know. But don't go chasing senoritas down to Mexico. I woke up in Warz, Mexico. I woke up in Warz, Mexico.
Joining us in the studio now are Jeremiah McKinley, brothers Jeremiah Christian Smith and Noah McKinley Smith. Welcome to Behind the Bands.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for making this
Glad to
trip.
play. Yeah.
So let's talk about Warz, Mexico. Give us the backstory of this song. Anything autobiographical? I mean, you know, going to Mexico?
I don't know if anything's autobiographical. I think maybe I was watching Narcos. Maybe I was. It's all comes from somewhere fictional, but you know, it was just a.
The last time we were in Mexico, I was 10, so it's definitely not autobiographical for me.
Yeah.
So how do you come up with a song like that? What inspired that song?
That song, with that song, I think it's just, I think the first thing that came was just, I was in the shower and I woke up in Warz, Mexico. And then, you know, the whole story kind of developed out of that. You know, I wanted the guy to be in trouble in some, you know, some way that was totally unfixable, and then just kind of have the story unfold, around him, as you go on.
You say this is kind of your go-to opener when you play. Why is that? What do you love about this song?
It's an attention grabber. I mean, it's a really hard transient that, we're used to playing in bars where people aren't looking at us at the beginning, and then you hit that one and everybody says, oh, I didn't know there's music here.
It's time to be quiet. Yeah.
Well, you describe your music as Americana, rock and blues, but not fitting into a musical genre, sort of. So it's sort of fringe. Where do you get your sound? Where does your sound get its roots, so to speak? How do you develop that sound?
Well, we grew up, we love folk music. We love Bob Dylan. We love old rock music. We love, Hendrix, all the greats. And, as we got older, we really got into the Black Keys, but we wanted to be on the folk music side because of the storytelling. We love, telling stories, and some of our favorite songs are, the long 10-minute story, that, folk singers would tell. And we wanted to try to find a way to do that our way.
Yeah. You mentioned to me that you liked history. So in some of your stories, you're historical. Your names seem very biblical to me. So how influential has your church or religion been in your guys' upbringing and just everything?
It's foundational. I mean, we grew up in the church. Our parents led the youth for 20 plus years, and they finally stepped down, and now they're enjoying being learners again on their own, but they taught all the way through the time I graduated high school.
Does it influence your music?
I mean, I'd say definitely, especially being from the South. I mean, it's kind of hard to escape just kind of that soul and the church music. It did kind of build a foundation for us of, music being important.
Noah, I hear you are an ordained minister. How does that fit in with being a musician? And the next song talks a little bit about a church and a preacher influence, the story of Hell and High Water. Tell us a little bit about becoming a preacher, and did that influence anything?
Absolutely. I think something that's foundational in our faith is finding ways that we can use our personal gifts. And I think if we weren't writing songs and if we weren't playing guitar, that would be doing a disservice to, the things that we've been given. I think they're gifts and we enjoy playing, so that's where we find a lot of joy.
So is there any of your truth in the history of you being a preacher to this story? Tell us the story of Hell or High Water, and because it has a preacher in it, and you play that in the video. Yeah,
I play the preacher in the video, and I actually dated a preacher's daughter, and she thought this song was about her, but I didn't even write the song. So
I wrote that song a long time before he even met that lady, and in hindsight, after we finished the video, I thought, is anybody going to believe that he's an older preacher, me being 7 years older than him?
and no, I don't think they did believe that it was it. So we're going to take a look at that. It is a video already released from their new EP, but they're going to play it live. So here's Jeremiah McKinley with Hell or High Water.
Just down the street, a picket fence and dogwood trees. High enough to climb to a branch so I can see. That preacher's daughter that's been pulling on my strings ain't too scared of her father, come hell or high water. And full of rocks, I keep a tossing at them beams. It's our way of knocking when the house is fast asleep. Unlocked and raised and keep it quiet as a peep. Like a lamb to the slaughter, come hell or high water. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. A long-legged preacher's daughter, come hell, high water. My blood's rising, another softer than that skin. nothing wrong, it's just a little bit of sin. A creaking on the stairs, I'll hit the road again. Staying gone just gets harder. Come hell or high water, 1, 2, 3, 4, come hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. Long-legged preacher's daughter, come hell. Hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. A long-legged preacher's daughter, come here. Oh, hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna see that girl again. A long-legged preacher's daughter, come here. Oh, high water.
You're watching Behind the Bands, and we are hanging out with Jeremiah McKinley, a literal band of brothers. We just watched them perform Hell or High Water. So, guys, your music video for this song features you two, you being the preacher. Your videos tend to have a little bit of a silly spin. So, why? Why do you like to mix in a little humor with your music?
Well, it really started as comfortable as we are playing in front of people. We have absolutely no problem with it. When we're in front of a camera, I have no idea what to do. So going maybe more the absurdist route made it easier to commit to, making it. And a lot of the stories we tell can lean on the more serious. So we just wanted to find a way to show that, when we're not doing that, we are just laughing and joking. That's pretty much all we do.
And you make them all yourselves?
Mm-hmm.
So
the budget is zero. Yeah.
Well, the hardest part of that video is, I don't know if you guys saw my dog Copper chasing after us. About 8 seconds after that video cut, he took off. We have some foxes in our woods, and he took off, and I probably chased him for the next 20 minutes.
No retakes on that one.
No.
Well, so you are bandmates and brothers. Have you always been close, or what was it like growing up, the two of you?
Absolutely not. We were mortal enemies at birth. I'm 7 years older, and we have an older sister who's 3 years older than me. So, we were best friends, and then he was just some guy that came to our house. And he didn't really like me much either, so it really worked out great. But, as we got older and he started playing sports, that's really how we connected, and we've kind of drawn closer and closer ever since.
Yeah,
And you both played football, right?
we did.
So how did you shift from football to music? Or was it always there?
Well, it's really football was most important because that was just that's just what we loved, and it's what our dad loved too. He always came outside and played with us. But coming outside of college, I was just kind of finding what's next. Mm-hmm. And I was a painting major, and I always loved kind of doing different creative stuff, and I always kind of wanted to learn to play the guitar, and he already knew how to play, and I picked it up, and within a couple minutes we started writing songs.
But you really didn't have any formal training.
It's still debatable if I should even be playing now.
Let's talk about your songwriting process. And you told me you're self-taught on guitar. So, Noah, you did have lessons. Jeremiah says you often have to sort of translate what he writes for studio musicians. What's that like?
I think it's an overstatement to say I had lessons. I had lessons in the 4th grade for one summer, and I picked it up again when I graduated high school. Yeah.
So then what is it like when you write songs? What comes first? Is the music, the lyrics?
Every song is different. Sometimes you'll hear a melody and, just kind of words will form off of that. And sometimes, we'll be downstairs strumming, and you get a nice chord progression and that, kind of sparks something. But I would say most lyrics are written in the shower. If you get an idea and then you're taking a shower later, I'll be humming it and all of a sudden a full verse will pop out. And then I'll have to, run
naked,
soaking wet. Yeah, it's soaking wet to write it down or it's gone forever.
And so do you feel like they're all a collaboration between the two of you, or does one of you write more than the other?
I'd say of the ones that we're releasing right now, he's written a little bit more, but it is always a collaboration and bringing ideas to each other and then finding different ways where, you know, with our own gifts, we can improve on it or make it a complete whole.
It's a lot of getting each other unstuck. You know, a lot of, you know, maybe you'll get, you know, 3/4 of a song written, or you just don't like your chorus in it or something, or, you know, maybe I'll have words and I have no idea what, you know, what chord should go with it. A lot of times we'll kind of help each other turn an idea into the full song.
Yeah. We've played your video on our sister station, and Billy the Kid was one. Do you often do historical figures, or do you like, you know, you said storytelling? What piques your interest? How do you go, oh, that could be a song?
Well, it's just really, that's all that's knocking around in my brain. So, you know, when songwriting starts, sometimes, you know, it's easier to attach to something that you recognize. So, you know, it'll be maybe something I watched or something, you know, something I've read that will spark a story, but it really varies.
It really varies. All right. Tell us about your next song called Wildflower. What inspired you to write that one? What is it about?
Wildflower is actually a response to a song I was listening to by Benjamin Dakota Rogers called Maggie. And in the chorus, it was, Maggie, you're a wildflower, and everybody knows. You can't pick her, you can't plant her, you can't tell her where to grow. And I was just, after listening to that song, I was just kind of stuck on that lyric, you know, kind of listening back. And it was just kind of the thought of, you know, yeah, once you pick a wildflower, it's not a wildflower anymore. It's, you know, you're changing it, you know, by being touched by human hands. It's, you know, totally different. So I was just kind of exploring this love that is, you know, maybe from afar. And, you know, if you try to change something, you know, it's not the same anymore. And it was just kind of, it might not make sense, but that's kind of where it came from.
That's deep. It's deep. All right, so let's check it out. Here's Jeremiah McKinley with Wildflower.
Take a ride to the edge of town. The sun is going down. The telling that you might find a wildflower sits beneath the riverside. The trees, they come alive. They sway with her all night. Ooh, wildflower, oh, won't you let me stay a while? She sits alone as the hours pass and knows how to make it last. And now it's gonna last all night. The radio ain't played a better song, the one she's humming on, so turn it up some. Ooh, wildflower, oh, won't you let me stay a while? Ooh, wildflower, oh, won't you let me stay a while? Seem to catch 'em, but they always try. Ain't a man left alive and hold something made so wild. I sit and watch, 'cause she said she don't mind, and that's enough to get me by. Wildflower make me feel so high. Ooh, wildflower, oh, won't you let me stay a while? Ooh, wildflower, won't you let me stay a while? It thrilled my heart to steal you. It wouldn't be the real you. A wildflower, can I stay a while? It thrilled my heart to steal you. It wouldn't be the real you. A wildflower, can I stay a while? It thrilled my heart to steal you. It wouldn't be the real you. A wildflower, can I stay a while? Ooh, me stay a while. Ooh, wildflower. Ah, well, won't you let me stay a while? Ooh, wildflower. Ah, won't you let me stay a while?
We're back with Jeremiah McKinley, a duo from North Carolina. Guys, we just heard Wildflower, which is on your new album called Almost Love. So what was it like recording, and do you enjoy being in a recording studio?
So this was actually our first time being in a real recording studio and having, people that know how to use the tools. And we worked with Danny Jones, who we met at a festival called Springboard in Memphis a couple years ago. And he was just phenomenal in helping us, figure out our vision of what we wanted it to sound like and putting the right pieces together and pairing us with some great musicians, which, usually it's just us two playing or we have our dad play the drums, but we got to play and hear a more full sound than we're used to. And that, just gave us so much energy.
Yeah.
That's cool. You recorded in Houston, Texas at the Lucky Run Studios. Our friend John in Houston connected us, so thanks to John. Why go there? You did work with studio musicians. What was, why choose that place from North Carolina?
Whenever we met Danny and we talked about working together, he was, I think he's based in Katy, Texas, which is right next to Houston. Mm-hmm. And he was, I think he was between setting up studios, and he had recorded some stuff there before. So that's just kind of where we settled on playing it. And everybody there was great. Michael Miakolka was the engineer, and he was awesome.
You told me you entered it with some trepidation, like, I'm working with studio musicians. What was that like?
Yeah, there's that imposter syndrome of, do we fit in here? And we've been recording tracks in our basement for years, and now we see the whole soundboard and the big setup, and then recording to a click track. We'd never done that before. We go on his time, and it's
always different.
It's different, yeah.
So let's talk about it. Is there a theme to this album and the songs?
Well, this album, Almost Love, felt the most apt because every one of the songs is, the different ways that we fall short, or, you almost, grab love. Like Hide and Seek is, as you're a kid, running through the woods, with each other, and all of a sudden you start to have different feelings than you had as you start to get into that middle school age. And then when you reach, kind of high school, that hell or high water, you find the preacher's daughter, and nothing is as important as sneaking around and trying to get, a little more time, together. And what's the next song?
Yeah. Well, then there's Wildflower, and, finally, you have your first breakup experience and realizing that, you've got to let somebody go, and maybe it'd be better off if you didn't touch it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Appreciating from afar, but realizing that maybe you have to go your own separate ways to,
So we talked about recording. You also play at bars and festivals like Springboard. Do you like the live performance? Do you interact with the audience? What do you enjoy about that?
Yes. No. It's a blast when people are into it. It just gives you so much energy, and it's a great feeling. It kind of brings you back to, growing up playing sports, is that, you kind of hear the crowd and you see the reactions, and it's
unifying. It's something that brings everybody together, something that everybody can draw their own emotional connection from.
Well, so right now you're a mailman, you teach, you're an ordained minister. So what's your goal musically? Where would you like to take this?
I'd like to take myself down to the post office and quit, and then we'll just drive around in a van and play, as far as I'm concerned. But we'd like to grow. We'd like to play more festivals. We'd like to just be able to be in front of as many people as we can.
So professional musicians.
Absolutely.
All the way. All right, well, we have one more song that we're going to hear from you guys, and it is the title track of the album. What should we know about Almost Love?
So Almost Love is a classic bar track where, it's getting late and anything starts to look good, and you're looking for love or something else. But
everything is love at 3 a.m.
Everything's love at 3 a.m.
Well, thank you guys so much for traveling to visit with us for this special edition. We're so glad to have you here for for Behind the Bands.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
having
for
us.
having
We had a
us.
blast.
All right. Well, I'm your host, Lisa Oligas. Be sure to tune in for more up close and personal chats with local and regional musicians. Now, one more song from Jeremiah McKinley as we say goodnight. Here's Almost Love.
Almost love on a bar stool, the lights coming on. I take a last drag of my cigarette, give me one more drink. I guess I'll take off. I saw you swinging my way, about to make your move, or about to fall. Said, boy, if you're headed this way, in a block or two, I'll give you a home. And it was almost love, 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 almost love. Hey, and it was almost love. The last call to say the right thing. But no time to think, another plan it out. We stumbled all up the staircase, street lights are blue, glowing like the stars. And by the way, what was your name? And no time for keys, and now your roommate's home. The clothes flying every which way. Tell the lamps to move before we knock them off. And it was almost love, love, almost, almost love. Hey, and it was almost love. Woke up next to an ashtray in the corner booth of the same old bar. My head pounding like it hates me. Was it all a dream? Or was it? Or was it almost love? Love, love, almost love. Was it almost love, 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 love? Almost love. Was it almost love?